I've been thinking about this a lot lately. The women who just seem peaceful, like genuinely grounded, not performative, not trying to look like they have it all together, but just calm. It's not luck, and it's not because life is easier for them. It's usually because they learned something that most people are still learning the hard way. They stopped giving everything access to them. Not every conversation, opinion, notification, not every situation that pops up and feel urgent in a moment. Because at some point, you start to realize that your energy is not unlimited, and where you're constantly giving it away by overconsuming, responding to everyone, and overthinking everything, you don't actually realize how drained you are until you finally stop. So in this video today, I want to talk about what it actually looks like to protect your energy, and why the women who glow differently are so intentional about this. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tiara, and on this channel we talk about becoming the best version of yourself from the inside out. So if you want to become your best self, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So recently I've been sitting with the ideal of energy a lot, because I think a lot of people don't realize how drained they feel is not always based on them doing too much. It's often because they're giving too much of themselves away in small ways all day long. I know that was me at one point, and I had to slowly start noticing what was actually pulling for me. There was a time where I would wake up already feeling behind. I used to think it was because I always had too much to do, but looking back, I don't even think it was that. It was more so that I was never really in my own energy. The first thing I would do is grab my phone and start scrolling, consuming other people's lives before I even checked in on my own. And from there, it just continued all day. The messages, the emails, the notifications, even conversations that I know I didn't have the capacity for, but I would still respond anyway. And at the end of the day, I would just feel drained in ways that I couldn't explain. And I would always try to fix it by having more discipline or being more organized and productive. But none of that actually solved it. It always just felt draining for me, because the issue wasn't effort, it was overflow. I literally did not have space in my mind. And once I started noticing that, everything started to change slowly. Even something as small as stepping away from my phone for a while would make me feel like myself again. I noticed that my mind was more clear, I was less reactive, and I was living in the present moment again. And that's when I started realizing that my energy was never really gone. It was just being pulled in too many different directions at once. I think that's where everything begins to shift, because when you are used to being available all the time, you don't even question it anymore. If someone texts you, you respond. If somebody needs something, you say yes. Something comes up and you adjust yourself immediately without really checking in with yourself first. And I had to slowly start noticing that I was available for everything except myself. And that creates a certain kind of exhaustion that builds up quietly over time. So I started doing something small at first, just pausing before responding, before saying yes, before jumping into something, and asking myself, do I actually have the space for this right now? Or am I just reacting out of habit? Whenever I started incorporating that started changing how drained I felt at the end of the day, because I wasn't constantly handing my energy away without realizing it. And I think that's what it really looks like in the beginning. Not cutting everyone off, not disappearing, but just becoming aware of where your energy is going before it leaves you. And then something else starts to become really obvious. You start to notice how much you're actually taking in every single day. And it's a lot more than we think. We're scrolling without thinking. I mean, I'm guilty myself. TikTok has me in a chokehold, and that's just something that we constantly do. And I didn't realize how heavy that was until I stopped doing it so much. Because when we give our mind space, we can actually feel ourselves again. You gain more mental clarity, and then you have the capacity to do the things that you actually want to do. And I remember thinking to myself, I didn't need more motivation, I just needed less input. And even now, I notice a big difference whenever I give myself more space in the morning. I actually have started putting my phone on the opposite side of the room, because I used to have the habit of scrolling first thing in the morning. So by putting my phone on the other side of the room, it stops the habit of me scrolling, and I've seen a huge difference in that. That small thing alone changes the tone of my entire day, because I'm not storing in everyone else's energy anymore. And then there's this deeper shift that happens. You start noticing how much emotional weight that you've been carrying that isn't even yours. And I really had to learn this the hard way, because I used to be a person that felt like if someone I care about is going through a hard time, then I would have to carry that with them. Like, I always felt like I had to feel it too, like I had to fix it for them. And I think that's just the empath in me, but over time I had to realize that wasn't actually helping anyone. It wasn't helping me, and it wasn't helping them. And it was definitely hurting me, because I was constantly full of other people's emotions on top of my own. So I had to slowly learn how to care without carrying, how to love people without absorbing everything that they're going through, how to be supportive without making their emotions my responsibility. And I think a lot of people are exhausted right now, not because life is too much, but because they're carrying things that was never meant to be carried by them. So if you've been feeling drained lately, I don't want you to overthink like it. Just gently start noticing, where is my energy going? What's been pulling from me all day? What feels like it's been sitting heavy on me that maybe doesn't even belong to me? And not in a judgmental way, just in an honest way. Because most of the time, nothing is really wrong. We just have too much going on externally and internally. And when you start to pull some of that energy back, you start to feel a little more like yourself again. And if this is the kind of thing that you've been trying to work through, like you can feel yourself stuck in patterns, overthinking, or just feeling disconnected from yourself, I created something that might help you actually start shifting that in real life. It's my Inner Glow Workbook. It's something I designed to help you slow things down, reconnect with yourself, and actually start applying these mindset shifts instead of just hearing them. I'll leave that link in the description below if you want to check it out. And if you're at a point where you're realizing that I know exactly what to do, but I just keep falling back into the same patterns, that's exactly the work I do in my coaching. I help women rebuild self-trust, break out of old cycles, and start actually following through in their real lives and not just understanding it mentally. I've worked with women who are exactly where you are, overthinking everything, second guessing, feeling stuck, and watching them start to trust themselves again and make different decisions has been one of the most powerful parts of what I do. So if you feel like that's something that you want support with, you can join my coaching waitlist. It'll be linked in the description below. When a spot opens, I reach out directly to the women on that list first. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.